We went 14 years without a single match between Argyle and Leeds United. Today, though, they meet for the 4th time in just 3 months. Leeds have had the edge in the 3 previous games this season, and they are on a 7-match winning run in the league. Argyle, though, unbeaten here since October, are out to upset one of the big boys. Hello, good morning. I'm Erin Black and this is the Argyle TV pre-match show for the lunchtime kickoff between Argyle and Leeds today. Now, you'll be forgiven for having a touch of deja vu. It was only 10 days ago that Leeds were here at Home Park for an FA Cup replay in the rain. Today, not quite as wet, still is a little bit wet, and instead of the prize being a tie at Chelsea, 3 valuable championship points are on the line. It is the middle Saturday of a busy week with home matches for Argyle. A point gained on Wednesday, of course, and then West Brom coming next week. Full attention, though, today is on one of the promotion favourites and most informed side of the division. So a reminder that kick-off a little bit different today. It's going to be at 12:30 p.m. and you can follow all of the action right here with us on Argyle TV as always. Match passes can be bought online right now. You do just need to check what type of pass you are able to get hold of. All of the details over on pefc.co.uk. But let's get stuck in. As you can see, I am joined in the rain by former Argyle and Premier League player Mark Edworthy. Mark, lovely to have you here over on the TV side today.
Yeah, good to be back here again at such a short period of time after an epic midweek game. And as you said, the 4th game against Leeds United, a really big game this afternoon. Huge task for Argyle, but I'm sure here at Home Park something we can deal with.
Yeah, this is a very intense week for the club in terms of fixtures. I know you were here on Wednesday doing the commentary. A disappointing end. How did you find that match?
Well, I thought for the Championship it was a wonderful advert, a great game of football, 2 really good teams trying to play in the right way, and I think they put everything into it. They really did, and I think it was just a cruel end to concede that goal. But then I suppose if you're in the Coventry camp, you'd be thinking a draw was a fair result. But yeah, the guys did a fantastic 90 plus minutes, but unfortunately it's got to go a bit further than that these days. It was a free kick which led to their equaliser. So disappointed in the end, but I suppose if we've got to think on the positive side, it's a point gained.
Yeah, and you know, there were of course other positives as well, you know, some really standout players. I think Mikael Miller obviously instrumental in that second goal. I think he was on, you know, pretty good form in that game, and Morgan Whittaker, of course, as is expected now almost, getting another goal here at Home Park.
Yeah, he's in fantastic form at the moment, but it was a brilliant game, a great advert as I said. But I'd like to have Adam Randall, I thought was outstanding. Devine put in a brilliant performance. Gabby, unfortunately today with a situation with Leeds, obviously he can't play this afternoon. And he arrived at the right time, didn't he? Randall made a fantastic run. I thought he was going to go down, but showed great balance and quality, stood on his feet and pulled that ball back for the rushing Morgan Whittaker to add another fantastic goal to his tally. Yeah, and
it's interesting today coming up against Leeds because we have seen them so often in a short space of time. It's almost like, what do you do differently today?
Well, it is a difficult encounter. Look, we're playing against a former Premier League opposition, aren't we? In the likes of Rutter, 30 million plus, is one of those players. So you can see the stature of the club. Huge task for us. We did well in the FA Cup against them to get the draw. Obviously then came back to Home Park. We took them to extra time and unfortunately was defeated 4-1. We lost early on in the league 2-1 to them, and that was a sort of tight encounter. Ben Waine scored there, so hopefully the manager might be looking at that and thinking he's got something to offer this afternoon. But that 4th game, as you said, in a quick succession, looking forward to another great game.
Yeah, I mean, if you discount the goals that we saw in the extra time of the most recent game, Argyle have been able to hold Leeds to account fairly regularly.
They have, and I think they're one of the only teams to really do that. As we said, they had a fantastic result in midweek against Swansea, winning 4-0 away from home, which is a fantastic game. But Leeds will respect Argyle, and I think they have done over those 3 games, and realise they're in for a tough game here this afternoon.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. We make it tougher than usual, and Argyle perhaps able to walk away with the win finally against Leeds. Now, throughout the course of Argyle TV this afternoon, we'll be hearing from Ian Foster and Daniel Farke before kick-off, and we'll also be joined by former Liverpool and Argyle goalkeeper Bruce Grobbelaar live here on the pre-match show, so do make sure you stick around for that. Before all of that though, let's get the important team news, and as always, we'll be starting with the Argyle lineup. Now, Mark, I believe we've got 4 changes in for Argyle this afternoon. On the screen for you there, Connor Hazard, Jordan Houghton is wearing the captain's armband today, Julio Pleguezuelo, Morgan Whittaker, Mikael Miller, Alfie Devine, Lewis Gibson, Adam Randall, Ben Wayne, Ashley Phillips and Matthew Sorinola. And on the Argyle bench, Callum Burton, Barley Mumba, Lino Souza, Dan Scarr, Joe Edwards, Ryan Hardy, Mustafa Bundu, Brendan Galloway and Freddie Isaka. Some interesting changes there, Mark.
Yeah, there really is. I think 4 changes, as you said, Erin. Again, you know, it's a quick turnaround in games, isn't it? As we said before, the guys put everything on the line against Coventry. It was a real epic game, end-to-end stuff. And I think that's what probably Ian Foster looked at today, thinking we need to bring some fresh legs in. Ben Wayne comes in, obviously, puts Hardy back onto the bench. Houghton's back in. He was captain before. Obviously, he got injured, so great to see that experience in, still alongside Adam Randall and Devine. So that's like for like, because unfortunately, as we said, Gabby can't play today because of his links with Leeds United.
Yep.
And obviously, Peg comes back in defence. So quality players coming in, some fresh legs, and I think that's what Ian Foster's probably looked at this afternoon.
Do you think maybe this is the kind of slight adjustment to the squad that needs to come out when you're playing a side that you've seen quite regularly in a short space of time?
Yeah, I think it's something to test them as well. New personnel in the team, they would have done their homework on Argyle, and they realise, you know, they've had plenty of time to research us, haven't they? With the 4 games now, this is the 4th time we played them. They've been close, apart from the FA Cup, and if you're looking at the extra time, that's when the goals were conceded. But up until the 90-minute stage, it's been a really close encounter between the both sides.
Yeah, and we're seeing Freddie Isaka on the bench again. He seems to be making slightly more regular appearances now we've got Ian Foster in charge. Yeah,
he's a real talent, and I know Foster, obviously, with his England background, he looks at the young talent, and he's got that availability with the Premier League sides and even Championship sides. But he's one of our own who we've produced. Obviously, Freddie Isaka, superb talent, great pace. I would love to see him maybe get a bit more game time, but I think it's always difficult for a manager because the games have been so tight. And do you gamble to bring someone on? But he certainly will get the crowd on their feet, and he's got a fantastic future.
Yeah, and you mentioned Adam Randall before we looked at the team news. Of course, he is there in the starting lineup. I think we can probably expect to see another strong performance from him. He performs well in any situation, but I think being in front of a home crowd really does spur him on, doesn't it?
I think midweek Adam was outstanding, and he went away with a man of the match performance, and rightly so. I know there's a number of players who could have maybe been awarded that. Devine also had a great game, probably his best game in an Argyle shirt so far. But you've got like a young midfield in there, with Gabby in there as well. Those 3 I thought were exceptional. I know you've got Houghton coming in, probably in between the 2 now, which will add that experience, and that will let them 2 maybe get a bit more forward, maybe see Houghton drop a little bit more deeper to allow Randall and Devine to get forward. But yeah, an outstanding performance from him. I think he had a bit of a point to prove. The manager's going to bring in new players, and Randall found himself not in the starting lineup, but when he's got back in, he certainly grabbed that opportunity.
Yes, yeah, 100%. Well, let's see how the Leeds side are shaping up then for us. On screen for you now. In goal for them, Ilan Meslier, Junior Firpo, Ethan Ampadu wearing the captain's armband, Joel Peru, Glenn Kamara, Crescencio Somerville, Joe Roden, Archie Gray, Jorginho Rutter, Wilfred Jonto and Ilya Gruev. And on their bench, Christopher Clayson, Danny van der Heuvel, 2 goalkeepers there, Charlie Creswell, Liam Cooper, Jamie Shackleton, Daniel James, Joe Geldhart, Connor Roberts and Matteo Joseph. Interestingly, no Patrick Bamford, no Sam Byram, which I think is good for us.
It is, some quality players there with great experience. But if you look at that lineup, Aaron, as we said, there's talent right throughout their side. They captain Ampadu, and then you've obviously got Somerville, Rutter. There's wealth of talent. And I think now they're on such a great run, as we said, beating Swansea 4-0 in midweek. They're looking to go up automatically. They just sit outside the automatic position at the moment, just by the odd point. and I think they're on such a good run at the moment. They'll be certainly looking at those top two.
Yeah, and Somerville, 2 goals in 3 games against us this season. So, you know, while we may be missing some of the other big names from Leeds, he is certainly one that Argyle need to be, you know, paying attention to today.
Yeah, I think certain players just sometimes they have that knack and they can score against certain opposition. He scored against Swansea midweek. He's obviously scored against us. So, you know, we've got to be at our best to stop him this afternoon.
If we look at the stats on this, they've got 11 goals scored in the last 3 matches, 7 wins in a row in the league, no Bamford, but bringing in Perot, that's 11 goals. It doesn't sound that appealing on paper, does it, when I say it like that?
But, you know, they're a good side. And to think we're competing against the likes of Leeds United, we talked about coming out of the Premier League, they want to go straight back at a huge club, you know, a huge history, great pedigree. And we've competed with them superbly well. So we've got to, you know, give credit to Argyle, home and away. And every game we've played here at Owen Park, as you said, we've given everybody a game. It's been so close, and we're still learning in the Championship. The margins and decision making at times is so close. And it's going to be another tough game for us this afternoon, which I'm sure, you know, we can deal with.
I think it also highlights the breadth of this league that we're in at the minute, because you spoke about, I think, Rutter, 30+ million signing, and when you compare that with our record signing of 1 million, it really shows the divide across the league and makes it, I think, almost all the more impressive that Argyle are actually managing, generally speaking, to, you know, sustain these draws at least against Leeds in the most part. Yeah,
they've done brilliant, and I think that's where the respect will come. You know, we've been probably one of the teams in the Championship who've really pushed Leeds this season, and yeah, you took the gulf it is between those sides there, and you know, 30 million plus for Rutter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably, no disrespect, a lot of what the Argyle squad would cost. But to say we can compete against those sides is great credit to our players individually, the staff, you know, the crowd, everything about the club. You know, we're doing extremely well in the Championship, and I think if we could just concentrate on what we do and make sure we maintain that Championship status, I think it's going to be a great season.
Yeah, and you said in regards to the last game, while, you know, necessarily we're not getting the win that we possibly deserved, certainly wanted on Wednesday, the calibre of football that the fans are being able to see being in this league, going against these teams, is fantastic to watch.
Oh, it's a brilliant game. I've said it so many times. For the advert for the Championship, you got 2 sides playing the right way, you know, competitive. It's end-to-end stuff. As a neutral, it must have been a great game to watch. On our side, it was nail-biting and, you know, really frustrating towards the end. But as we said, we've given everybody a game, and we've been really competitive. I think any opposition manager that comes into home park really knows they've got to be at their best to beat us here.
Yeah, I think Ian Foster needing to strengthen defensively to make sure a repeat of Wednesday doesn't happen, where we see something going wrong in the kind of final ebb of the game.
Yeah, I think it was you know, there's like a minute left on the clock, wasn't there? I know tensions are high and emotions are running. It's just concentration, and you know, it was wet, very similar like it is today. The mist was down, and I just think, you know, if they look back at it maybe now on the training ground, or look back at the evening's events, could they potentially put a wall up and anything to prevent that ball from coming into the near post? You know, it was a scramble at the near post, and it was a very unlucky goal to concede, but unfortunately that's happened. We've got to look at it on the positive and say, okay, we've got a point on the board, and now we look forward and prepare for a very strong Leeds United side who we know, you know, do concede goals, but also at the other end, they do put plenty in the net as well.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, we're saying possibly it could be a negative, having played them so often so recently. They kind of know maybe what to expect from us. But on the flip side, hopefully we know a little bit about what we can expect from them and counter it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, again, concentration, opportunities are going to present themselves, and it's a case, I think, who takes them. You know, amount of times we've had good opportunities and either the goalkeeper saved it or we've been unlucky. Against a team like Leeds United, you have to take those opportunities, because you know the firepower we've talked about, the players' worth and the quality they've got on them sides. We can't give this Leeds United team too many opportunities.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to shut down Leeds United here today at Home Park. If we cast our minds back to just 60 hours ago, Argyle were trudging off the pitch behind us, looking pretty gutted to have conceded that last-minute equaliser against Coventry, and it's Ian Foster's job to get them up again. So how does he go about it?
We're going to be playing Leeds United live on TV in front of a sellout crowd, so there's no G'ing up required. The players will be excited at the prospect of facing Leeds again. You know, it's a wonderful challenge for us, and we look forward to it.
On Leeds then, so obviously we know about the detail you go into on opposition. This is obviously a side that we've played so recently, twice. So are you expecting exactly what we've seen over the last couple of games again on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the games that they've had between our games, nothing's really changed tactically from the way Leeds play, and nor should it really, the form that they're in. What we can do is we can use all our footage in terms of things we did well against them and areas we need to improve in the build-up with all the analysis that we do, and hopefully we learn from the mistakes we made in the games, but hopefully we can build on the bits that we did particularly well.
If you look at the 90 minutes of the two games that we've had recently against them, it's 2-1 all draws. So if you just take that, obviously without the extra time element, what have you made of those matches and how we've done against one of the best sides in the division?
The games have been a challenge. It's one that the players have to concentrate in consistently. They pose so many different challenges for you with the qualities that they have. Not only the starters but the players that they're able to bring onto the pitch. So it's mentally challenging. We just have to make sure that we focus on the game plan. We stick together in times where Leeds will be dominant in the game, and then we use the moments where we can show our quality in the final third. And in these games you have to be ruthless, because chances might be few and far between. But we've shown over the course of the two games, like you say, in the 90-minute periods, that we can stay in the game against these.
And you speak about being ruthless. I mean, we've seen in the last few games anyway the quality of goals that we've scored and the ability to still be able to create chances. That must be great, knowing we've still got a couple of home games to come in the next couple of weeks where we have been so good.
Yeah, listen, we're certainly not a finished article. We need to work a lot harder on our ball retention at times. We need to be braver. I thought the second half performance against Coventry showed moments of that. But these are very difficult games in order to keep the ball against good opposition. But we're trying to implement a playing style, but we're also trying to be solid and play from a structure where we're difficult to beat.
I think deflating is maybe a good way of describing the result on Wednesday. How would the players have dealt with that?
Well, at the time, they probably would have felt like it was a defeat because they put everything into that game. As we said, they earned the right to get in front. And was it 7 minutes of injury time? I think
6, 7.
Me and Charlie sort of questioned that at the time, and ultimately it was in that last minute that the goal came. But we reflect on the game after. I'm sure the manager, the players would have been disappointed, but then they'd instantly look at the positive and said, look, you've just played against another club that's potentially pushing towards promotion. They missed out on the Premiership last year against Luton. They're a good side, they're a good setup, and we've pushed them all the way. Yeah. So you've got to take the positive from any game, Aaron. As we said, a point gained, and they would reflect now. That would have been like get rid of the injuries and look at the legs and how the lads were feeling fitness-wise to see what team he was going to put out against Leeds United today.
As a player, when you have a result like that, when you're so close to a win, does it spur you on and drive you forward even more for the next game, especially when the next game is also at home?
Yeah, definitely. I think the disappointment's on the night. You can't dwell on it. You can't allow yourself to dwell on it too long, because if you take that disappointment into today's game, then that can ultimately work against you. So I think they would reflect on it in the dressing room, rested the next day, re-evaluated everything, as I said. And then again, you got the opportunity to prepare and play against another top side, and that's what the players will be looking forward to. And I mean, if we beat Leeds United here this afternoon, not only it'll be a wonderful result, but it's a huge scalp as well. Yeah,
absolutely. And you mentioned Randall and Devine as standout players for you. Foster, I think, really good at honing this young talent and focusing on those kinds of players.
Yeah, he certainly is. And as we said, with the England background and with the young talent he's got opportunity, and we've seen that already with the likes of Devine arriving, Gabby arriving, Phillips, top young talented international players. coming from Premier League opposition. Obviously, Gabby's come from Leeds, and that's why he can't play this afternoon.
Yeah.
But there's some super talent on show.
Yeah. Do you think, maybe because we're going up against Leeds today, we may see our players not have as much of the ball maybe as previously we've seen because of just the sheer power of the club?
Yeah, I think so. I think, in possession we've been good at times. I think Coventry started the game midweek superbly well, but then Argyle grew in confidence, and then we dictated possession. And we know possession stats don't ultimately win your game. That's been proven so many times. I think it will be the case of when the opportunity presents itself today, Argyle must take it.
Yeah, and of course this will be, if all goes well, 9-match unbeaten run league-wise at Home Park. So this is certainly not a game that Ian Foster's going to want to concede, especially with the FA Cup result.
It's a fantastic record, Aaron, as you said, in the Championship to do that. And I think that's why they'll be well prepared, Leeds United. They know they're in for a tough game here. Yeah. Any team that comes here at Home Park knows they're in for a real tough afternoon. I think we've got to maintain that. And if we can do that this afternoon, hopefully we're going to get the result we deserve.
Yes, absolutely. Fingers crossed. Well, earlier this week, the EFL launched its limited edition Puma Rainbow Ball, which is being used today here at Home Park. It's part of the work football clubs up and down the country are doing to honour LGBTQ plus History Month. And here is a little bit more about it.
I don't think they kind of realise just how impactful their words can be and what it can kind of do to a person.
Saddened, upset,
uncomfortable,
unwelcome.
It does wind me up. Definitely feels like being bullied.
You just have to sit there and go, really?
It needs flagging up. It's not acceptable. It's not okay.
Gay, bi, trans, or whatever you identify as, we've all got the same blood when we're sat under a football stadium, under the lights on a Tuesday night.
There's no excuse for it.
Why does it matter who you are or how you live your life?
You just feel let down.
There's a lot of things I'd like to say to them.
Just think about the effect your words have, and really, what are you gaining from saying something homophobic, something discriminatory?
People want to fit in, especially young people, and I think that's why making football for everyone is so important.
This ball stands for football for everyone, equality for everyone, and respect for everyone.
We are one union and we are one family.
This represents a sense of belonging, a sense that I'm welcome, a sense that I can be myself and enjoy football.
It's about representation for me.
Most importantly, it's hope.
I love football. When I see this kind of representation, I know I can be proud of my sport.
And during halftime today, we will see how Argyle Pride, an LGBTQ plus team in the city, reacted when a couple of special guests surprised them in a training session last week. But now I am extremely excited to say that we are joined pitchside at Home Park here by none other than, well, football icon Bruce Grobbelaar, 6-time English champion with Liverpool, also won the European Cup and the FA Cup multiple times, and of course played here for Argyle back in the 90s. Bruce, thank you so much for being with us today. How are you?
I'm fine, Erin. It's great to be back here in Argyle. It's a nice part of the world to come to, but not in this weather.
Yeah, sorry about the weather. No. When was the last time you got to come down to Home Park then?
Well, I came down to Home Park when there was Peter Shilton was here, and then there were a few. Paul Mariner came down to see them. So this is the second time in all those years that I've come back. Yeah,
and we were saying off camera, a lot of changes have been happening at Home Park. It's been moving, forwards, leaps and bounds.
Absolutely, it is the biggest club in the southwest of England. I just hope that they can stay in this league and kick on and prove their worth in the championship next season. But yeah, it's great to see them back up in this championship. Yeah, now we will of course need to talk to you about your Liverpool days in a minute, but first of all, tell me about your time at Argyle. Well, it was funny because I wasn't supposed to sign with Argyle. Okay. I was in Africa on the Thursday, and Alan Ball at Manchester City asked me to come to Manchester the next day because he wanted to sign me.
Yeah.
And when I got to Manchester, he told me that I was blackballed by the chairman,
Right.
so I couldn't. And I knew that Neil Warnock wanted me.
Okay.
So I rang him from Manchester. I said, do you need a goalkeeper? He says, I'm just about to sign one, but just give me 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Came back and he said, where are you? I said, Manchester. He said, well, you're going to have to get here by 2. I said, well, meet in Bristol then, and we'll do the business there. So I drove to Bristol, and
Yeah.
that's where I was signed. He said to me then, well, where are you going to go and stay now? I said, well, Torquay. I've got a mate in Torquay.
Brilliant.
He said, no, you're going to come with me because we've got a game tomorrow. And we came down here to Home Park and played against the team that didn't want me to sign the day before. We played Manchester City here and we beat them 1-0.
Fantastic. So straight through the whole process just like that.
Well,
I guess some things are meant to happen.
something's meant to happen, yes.
And what was it like being an Argyle player? You know, I think, not to be biased, obviously, because we're on Argyle TV, but I think it's fair to say the fans are, you know, a special sort here.
Listen, coming down here, it was an absolute pleasure. You know, I used to still live in Sussex and drive all the way on a Thursday, train Thursday and Friday here, play the game Saturday, and then I'd meet them on the bus wherever they were going to from Sussex. So it was an absolute pleasure coming here. The fans are brilliant down this part of the world. The stadium now is absolutely, it is. It's a mini, beautiful stadium. It's nice horseshoe.
Yeah.
I miss the old far post, but I can see we've got another supporters club up there, so it is.
And
all I can say is Neil Warnock and Argyle made it a family, which is not unlike any other place.
Yeah.
It's alike to Anfield, which is a family club.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Liverpool and Argyle were very, very special in my
Well,
memory.
I was going to say, speaking of Liverpool, you know, like you said, it has got a real family feel. There's, I mean, you know, you'll never walk alone, obviously, is the anthem. It kind of is what it says. It's incredibly successful time for you at Liverpool. You know, how was that?
We've got a very special manager.
Yeah.
And thankfully we have the chap there with the kind of charisma that makes it so special to go and watch.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go back in the day that I was playing here at Argyle with Neil Warnock. He made the place very, very special. There's a lot of people that didn't or disliked Neil Warnock, but for his principles and his standards, he always wanted you to perform at your utmost peak, and he would take no nonsense.
Yeah.
There would be no hiding with him, and that's exactly like the Jurgen Klopp is today.
Yeah.
So, and the fans of Argyle are very, very similar to Liverpool and the Scousers. They are special, special people.
Yeah, and if you cast your mind to the time when you were at Liverpool, of course, you know, a lot of successes for you there. Is there one in particular that kind of stands out as a favourite?
No, Erin, when I first signed for Liverpool, it took me a long, long time to get to where I wanted to play. And finally, when I signed, that was the biggest day of my life.
Yeah.
You know, you go through the career that I've had, and I've won many, many trophies, but the signing for Liverpool and Bob Paisley was the ultimate.
Well, I mean,
coming from Africa and then doing things that people told me I would never be able to do.
Yeah.
And it's
so we're just under 30 minutes from.
That's all right. I can still hear you. Carry on.
Not giving up was my motto. Never give up. Never be told that you cannot do it.
Yes.
Because if you can dream anything, you can do it.
And now one of the things you did, and I can't have you here and not talk to you about it, the wobbly legs. the wobbly legs. The technique.
Well, it wasn't my idea. It was the manager who was talking to me before the penalties.
Yeah.
He said, "Listen, nobody's going to blame you." And I'm thinking, if you can't stop a ball from 12 yards. I said, oh, well, thank you, God.
Yeah.
Thanks, boss. And as I walked away, he said, but try and put them off.
Okay.
And that stuck in my head. And I stuck to my guns and I put off 2 international players. Because I figured that if an international could be put off, then his mind wasn't on the game in the first place.
So you feel that technique has got a bit of success behind it? There's maybe a...
It's had many more successes in different forms and how keepers go into penalties nowadays.
Perhaps we can see Conor Hazard trialling it out at home park in days to come.
Hopefully Conor Hazard will have a great day today, and not like the cup one that we had. He's got to come up and be counted today, because this is a very strong Leeds side. So that's why I say we need here at Argyle a good game, stay in the league and then push on for next season.
Yeah, well, if it goes well, you'll obviously be the good luck charm, so you'll have to come back a little bit more often. Bruce, thank you so much for being here on Argyle TV. A reminder that you can stream today's game over on Argyle TV online, pafc.co.uk. Get your passes, and then coming up after this, we'll be having a closer look at our opponents' Leeds. Thank you so much.
A shared passion and commitment, 12,000 miles across the season. Unforgettable memories, past players, the goals. Waiting players, supporters, young and old. Capturing the moment, living the dream. Green Army, belting out the genocide. The stands, the shirts, the drum beats, the surging crowd moving as a giant wave. Crusaders, one and all. The Green Army.
Welcome back. You are watching the Argyle TV pre-match show, and we are playing Leeds for the 4th time. Leeds are one of the sides relegated from the Premier League last season, and like Leicester and Southampton, they're one of the 4 sides fighting it out for an automatic promotion. They've won 7 in a row in the league and know that any slip-up could cost them. Here is their manager, Daniel Farb.
Well, the knowledge and the experience, and also that we are pretty respectful, because it's a side who has a really good home record in the league. I think their last home defeat was back in October, so it's a really difficult place to go. And yeah, also the last 2 games, the last 2 cup games, after 90 minutes, we were not able to beat them. So we know that we have to be at our best in order to give ourselves a chance to win the points in this difficult away game. We're traveling, obviously, with our run with confidence and also highly motivated to add the next point under our belt. But we also know that at the moment, at least, it's one of the toughest places to go. Otherwise, they wouldn't be unbeaten since October. It's also a pretty special atmosphere. So we definitely need again a top performance, and hopefully also, again, the backing of our traveling support. So in the last games, it was second to none, and means so much also to the lads, and helps us also to be successful in this difficult away games. And would be great to have another amazing support from the Leeds supporters, because at the moment the games are coming thick and fast, and lots of load, lots of traveling, and for that we need also our supporters in order to help us in this type of games in order to win the points.
The Plymouth manager Ian Foster, I think, made comment this week about the fact that Leeds will have had an extra day. They played on Wednesday night. But when you compare that to the amount of travelling that you've had to do recently, do you think that maybe balances things up a bit?
Yes, I don't think we have an advantage. So it's more or less like it was also a quick turnaround. You have also a few injuries. If it would be an advantage and we win this game, I take this, but I don't expect it will be easier for us. Not at all, because yes, when you have to travel so late, there's always like the biorhythm is not in the best place. You have to travel a lot, and then sometimes struggling with the sleep. For them, home games, no travel at all. So I wouldn't say that we have an advantage. But if he's right, I take this, so no problem.
You moved into second during the week. Southampton can regain second spot. They play tonight. It looks like it's going to be this cat and mouse between yourselves, Southampton, Ipswich, possibly for the rest of the season. Do you prefer to be still chasing, or would you rather be in second and be the team that are being chased, if that makes sense?
No, I rather would be in position 1 and would be 20 points ahead of all the others, if I'm honest, because each and every point helps. So, but at the moment, again, so we don't interpret too much into the table. I spoke about this, especially after relegation. It's always a ladder, and you have to take it step by step. I always spoke about, if you want to have a perfect season, you need to make 5 steps. So the first is, don't struggle on the wrong end. Second is, make sure that you have a chance to finish in the top 6. So these both steps are already done. Third step is then, okay, then finish in the top 6. And if you do so, the 4 steps would be finish in the top 4, so that you have a home game in the second leg in the playoffs. And if you manage to finally confirm step 3 and 4, and you're on a good path to do it, and there are still a few games left and a few points to play for, then you also make sure that you can climb also the 5th step. This would mean then automatic promotion, or using the playoffs for promotion back to the Premier League. Then you have played a perfect season. But at the moment we are still working on step 3 and 4. And once this is finally confirmed, then we can speak about more, but not before. And for that, we are really just concentrate on taking each and every step at one moment. And take each and every game serious, and each and every point that we can collect helps. And this is also the task for the game at Plymouth.
I mean, there's no doubt that Leeds have been impressive lately, Mark, and, you know, understandably so.
Yeah, they really have, and I think all the talking's been done, as we said, all the preparation's been done. It's now down to business, and let's hope Argyle can perform and get a really good, it'll have to be a well-earned victory here this afternoon.
How do Argyle go about stopping them today?
Well, I think, as you've said, you've got to take the opportunities. Argyle will get opportunities because they create so much here at home park, and they must take them against a superb Leeds United team. You talked about the former Premier League clubs coming down. They're looking to bounce back on the first occasion. And that's certainly what they're doing at the moment, with a 4-0 victory against Swansea, and obviously unbeaten in those 7 games. So they're a real tough side.
Yeah, and even when you have players out, you know, sometimes it can cause teams to have a little bit of a wobble, but they certainly are continuing to maintain those high expectations of them.
Yeah, they certainly are. A great squad. We talked about their depth, the amount of money they've spent on certain players, looking to get back on the first attempt. But I think the respect is here, as we said, the 4th time we've played each other, and it's just set up to be another great game.
Yeah, I mean, 11 goals in the last 3 matches. It's excellent work from them.
It is, and I think you know, we've got to understand that as well. We're playing against a top side, but as we said, you know, let's give Argyle a huge amount of credit. We've competed against every side this season and really give them a good game, and I think Leeds will respect us, as we said, and they know they have to be at their best again to beat us here.
Yeah, well, as mentioned, on their 7-match winning run in the Championship, they looked pretty imperious earlier in their midweek form when they dismantled Swansea City.
Sweeping corner towards the back post, towards goal, and Swansea struggling to get it away. Ruta just misjudged his strike there. Just to keep possession. It's now Somerville strike, and it finds its way in. Perfect start for Leeds. The pressure pays off. There was some bad fortune in there as well. A cruel deflection on its way towards goal. Could be in again here. Nonso. Joel Piru against his former club. Well, he wasn't even going to start here this evening, but he extends Leeds United's lead. 2 goals in a matter of minutes. Very into the evening still. First routine from the corner, but it's one which doesn't pay off, and it gives Leeds the opportunity to counter here. They're flooding forwards. Nonso, all the time in the world. Can he find the finish? Straight at Rushworth. Should have been 3. Gray. Such elegance to the way in which Leeds are playing, and Lonto looking dangerous here, turns inside and he makes it 3. Ruthless from Leeds United. What a first half it has been for them. Always knew it was going to be tough here this evening. It's proven that way. Pulled towards the back post and kept alive as well. It's hooked over the top. Swansea players who made such a poor start to the game, 2-0 down inside 10 minutes. Leeds threatening once again, and it's Nonto looking for his second of the evening, and he puts it away. A night that is getting better and better for Leeds United. They are red hot right now. And Daniel Farke's side have got their eyes on promotion to the Premier League. Winners here this evening against Swansea by 4-0.
Argyle, however, are looking to get their 10th win of the season here at Home Park, 8 of which have taken place here, and they are unbeaten here in the league, as we mentioned before. Today, taking on Leeds United. You can follow the match in all its glory over on Argyle TV. Just check out all the details about the match passes. Let's now, though, just get a quick reminder of the teams for you, starting with Argyle. Connor Hazard, Jordan Houghton is our captain this afternoon, Julio Plegafuelo, Morgan Whitaker, Mikel Miller, Alfie Devine, Lewis Gibson, Adam Randall, Ben Wayne, Ashley Phillips and Matthew Soranola. They are the chosen 11 for Ian Foster. As we said, Mark, a couple of changes there, but hopefully those are changes that, you know, may be able to counter what Leeds are putting out.
Yeah, Argyle making the 4 changes, and that's probably a reflection of the epic midweek against Coventry. But as we see now, the pitch is cleared, all the talking's been done, as we said, the preparation has been done, and now it's game time. The heads are on, the Sky cameras are here for a reason. They're expecting a quality game, so am I hope you are, and let's hope it's a victory for Argyle this afternoon.
Absolutely. Let's look at Leeds side then as well. Their starting lineup: Ilan Meslier, Junior Firpo, Ethan Ampadu is their captain, Joel Peru, Glenn Kamara, Crescentio Somerville, Joe Roden, Archie Gray, Jorginho Rutter, Wilfred Yonto and Ilya Gruev. So I think it is going to be, well, like you said, Mark, it is going to be quite an intense match, I think, today. Final thoughts from you. What do Argyle need to do differently versus previous times to actually get the win today?
Well, I think Argyle are going to be at their best, as simple as that. They expect a difficult game, Leeds United. I think Argyle has proven that at Home Park. They do create chances, they score goals, but this is a different encounter from today. Against a top side, former Premier League side. They're in great form, 4-0 midweek against Swansea. They've already beaten us in the FA Cup and in the league. So it's hopefully time for the tides to change. That would be great if that happens. It would be a huge result for us this afternoon. And I think Argyle got every chance, but they've got to be at their best.
Yeah, right. Final little bit of build-up coming up after this. Let's have a quick look at the other games being played today then. Yesterday it finished West Brom and Southampton. They were yesterday's game. Later today, QPR and Huddersfield take on playoff chasing sides in Bristol City and Hull. Top of the table, Leicester are at home to Middlesbrough, and Argyle could go above Cardiff if we win and they lose to Norwich. So lots to look out for. We are now just over 10 minutes away from kick-off. So before we hand over to the commentary team, let's get a final thought from inside the Argyle camp. And here is Kevin Nanscoville with Charlie Price.
Bit of deja vu, this, Nance, isn't it? Playing Leeds yet again in the rain.
Yeah, no, we've seen Leeds a few times now, haven't we? So, but it's good. We're looking forward to it. This is what we want. We want to be playing the top teams in the country, home park, sell out, live on the TV. So, looking forward to it.
If you look over their last 10 matches, they've won all of them bar a couple, and those couple have been us. So, what have we done well against them, do you think?
Well, we're a good team. We've got some good players. We've stuck together when during games we've been under a bit of pressure. So we've defended really well, and we've looked the threat on the counter attack when we've gone forward. So we'll try and be the same again today, and hopefully we can get a good result.
Obviously, we only played a few days ago. Busy schedule at the moment. Darko can't play today. Could you talk us through the team?
Yeah, so Darko misses out because of the loan agreement with Leeds. So Jordan Houghton comes back in, which is a massive boost for us. So we're looking forward to Jordan playing. Ben Wayne will get a game today to give Ryan a bit of a rest, and Pleggy will come in for Brendan. Brendan's going to have a little bit of a rest just because of the games we've had. But apart from that, we're all good to go, and looking forward to it.
Just finally on it, you mentioned the crowd. It is an early kick-off. It seems to not dampen many spirits, though, does it?
No, and there's a tendency that early kick-offs can dampen the atmosphere, but it certainly doesn't feel like that at the minute. And I'm sure it won't be like that. And we're going to need the crowd to be as raucous and as loud as we can if we're going to get any points.
Another packed out home park here again, Mark. I mean, you know, we've spoken about what Argyle need to do to hopefully get the win here. I certainly think there are going to be goals in this game.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been put on the spot again. I said to Charlie midweek there has to be goals in this game, and we were actually, you know, delighted to see 4 goals. Unfortunately, 2 went into the Argyle net, but there's always goals here at home park. There really is. I think that's the way we play. We're so expansive. We like to create chances, and we're playing against the opposition who love to score goals. So that's why the Sky cameras are here. It's an early kick-off. They're expecting a great game. And let's hope the Argyle can reward our fans here with a fantastic result.
Yeah, and I feel like there's also a certain element of pressure when you have the cameras in like that, because Argyle want to perform, want to show off and to show how good we really are.
Yeah, I think they did that in the FA Cup, didn't they? The FA Cup game against Leeds United, they were well talked about and well complimented, and rightly so. Argyle have done great here at home park. They're hopefully going to keep their championship status. They're doing great so far. And it's a mouth-watering tie against Leeds United, the form team at the moment. So that's why the cameras are here for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Well, 4th time lucky, I guess. Let's hope this time the results swing our way. We are pretty much ready to go here on Argyle TV. So just your final reminder, if you haven't got your match passes yet, you can do so over on the website, pafc.co.uk. Charlie Price and Ian Stonebridge are standing by for your commentary this afternoon. It is Argyle against Leeds United, and it's coming up next.